Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today we're going to restore a Hot Wheels car from 1969, the Turbofire. Now this car was only produced in the United States, and the most common interior color on this car is white. If you happen to find a car with a dark interior, it tends to bump up the price a little bit more because they're a lot harder to find. Now this particular car has got a lot of flea bites, the wheels are worn out, and the base is tarnished. So we got a little bit of work to do to bring it back to its original glory. It's a good car, and no collection is complete without this car. We're going to restore it in the original red Spectre Flame, and we're going to use that wonderful Spectre Flame paint from the Redline shop. Well, let's just go ahead and get started and get this car apart. I've already drilled out the post. It came apart fairly easy. Little spider web in there. It's really cool sometimes what you find in these cars. Look at that. That would really, and even spider too. That would freak out my buddy Paul at Fat Guy Productions. He doesn't like those things. Windshield's in excellent shape. And as I said before, these cars were only produced in the United States, so the only color you're going to find these windshields in is white. Here's the base, looks good. Got a turbo or turbine engine in the back, that's really cool. Base is in good shape, but you can't remove the wheels. I mean the axles. But it's pretty tarnished, so we'll go ahead and we'll clean those up and change out the wheels. Let's go ahead and work on the base. Here we have our mixture of Lime-A-Way and water, a 50-50 mixture. I left the wheels on because it doesn't hurt the wheels at all, but this is a mixture of muriatic acid, so you definitely want to make sure that you don't get this on your skin. It's a 50-50 mixture of Lime-A-Way and water, and you can get this at pretty much any grocery store or Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart or any place like that. The time you want to leave it in is approximately anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes. You got to monitor it because if you leave it in too long, it'll turn the base black. Okay, about 3.5 minutes have passed. Now we're going to take out the base and we're going to scrub it down with a brass brush. Actually did a pretty good job without scrubbing. Let's move on. Here's the body. Try and get all your drilling and everything done before you put it in your paint stripper. This will save you later on once you paint the car. Then you won't be messing with it while you're trying to drill the holes. So try and get this done before you put it in the paint stripper. Then it'll be all done and taken care of and you won't take a chance of messing up your paint job. Get the car coated thoroughly. Even though we're going to use the color again, we're going to strip the inside. Let's let it set.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Here we're going to put some new meats on the car. Go ahead and remove your wheels. Using your thumbs, put equal pressure on either side. It should pop right off. If you're feeling any resistance whatsoever, just go ahead and cut off the wheel. That way there you won't break the axles. And in this particular car, the axles are crimped in place. So once you break these axles, you really can't find replacements without taking the car apart and going through a whole bunch of crap. We're going to put some medium wheels on the front, and we'll put some large meats on the back. Using this adjustment tool from the Redline shop, put it on the axle between the bearing and the base and squeeze it on with your thumb. Just make sure that you're really careful. Now, there may be a tight fit and you might not be able to get that tool in there. Just take your time and press it on there without bending the axle. And that's really important too. Now, if your axles are bent, you can also use this alignment tool to straighten out those axles. Just take your time and tweak it a little bit at a time. let's go ahead and get that body out of the paint stripper and get working on that. Here we've got some Blue Magic Metal Polish Cream. Now I've used a bunch of different products. I've used Turtle Wax Polishing Compound, I've used Flitz, and I've used this Blue Magic Metal Polish Cream. I like this, but I also like the Flitz too. It's a good product. Go ahead and just smear a little bit on there. Now the reason I like this more is because it's a little bit more of it's a cream or like a paste. Now I tried using that stuff that they sell on Facebook that you know, they show you where they're polishing the bottom of a pontoon boat or a beer keg or whatever. And honestly, guys, it's just too wet for what I like. Now, it does work. I just don't care for it, and I won't buy it again. Take your time polishing this up. If you've got any opening hoods or doors or anything like that, be careful around them, because this wheel could catch it and it'll snap that thing back off, and then you're going to start saying curse words. Take your time, polish it out. If you have to change out the polishing bonnet, go ahead. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. Like I said, take your time and polish this. Notice how I'm holding the hood to keep it from opening up. Now before I polish it, I'll usually prep the body with sandpaper or some steel wool or a Scotch-Brite pad or something like that. Unless the body's in really bad shape, you may have to go in and do some zinc plating. And we'll have some zinc plating coming up in some videos. But I also have a video on zinc plating in the how-to section on the playlists. So please check it out. And it's very inexpensive and it's very easy to do. Take your time, and you don't have to have your Dremel on high speed just because there's a high speed setting, because it will launch your car or get wrapped up in that shirt that I put underneath or whatever. Not a good thing. We're pretty much done. Let's wipe it down. It's in pretty good shape. Paint job will look good there. Now you could polish this thing to look like a mirror, but how far do you want to go? We went ahead and hit it with the degreaser. I use ZEP, Z-E-P, and I get that at Lowe's or Walmart or whatever. We're putting a really light mist coat of paint, that wonderful Spectre Flame paint from the Redline shop. Please go to their website and check out what they got. Besides paint, they sell an array of different aftermarket decals that bring your Redline back to life. They've got those great Redline wheels, and they've got the cap wheels, and they're fantastic. And they also have replacement parts for certain cars like the windshields and the hoods. They also carry the screws and the rivets and the taps and the drills and all that stuff. So please check out the Redline shop at www.redlineshop.com. You won't be sorry, because when you shop at the Redline shop, this is where Redlines come to life. There's my public service message. Fantastic stuff. And I don't know if I mentioned also that the Redline shop is an official sponsor of Diecast Graveyard. This is starting to look really nice. Let's let it set for just a bit.
A few minutes later.
Now that we got a lot of the mist coats down, we're going to start putting some heavier coats on. Now you want to make it look wet, but you don't want the paint to run. And that's a very fine line when you're doing this stuff. So take it easy and experiment and practice with it. Now if you're doing red lines for the first time, I would recommend that you start with a few mainline cars and learning how to drill the post, etc. Because the posts on the mainline cars are a lot thicker and easier to drill.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Here we've got all the pieces together. We got the body that turned out really nice. That wonderful Spectre Flame paint. We also touched up the tail light in the back. The base looks good. We rubbed that down with Renaissance wax, and I'll be going into more detail on a future video with that. The windshield's in really good shape. We polished that up with the Meguiar's plastic polish. Interior's nice and clean, and we got the base with new meats on it. We're good to go. And here's what we started with. A Hot Wheels Turbofire, manufactured in 1969. Everybody had one of these cars in their collection. They were very accessible. There were so many of them. Along with the Silhouette and the Twin Mill and cars like that, they were all over the place. But you still have to have this car in your collection, and it deserves all the respect you can possibly give one of these old Redlines. Now this car is over 50 years old, and it's in darn good shape for 50. But we're going to take the car apart, we're going to take the paint off, we're going to polish it, and we're going to make this car look beautiful after we get through with a little bit of TLC. I was very happy to do this car, and it was really cool. Let's go ahead and do our reveal. And here's what we got to. This beautiful Hot Wheels Turbofire, completely restored. It looks fantastic with that Spectre Flame red paint. The brand new wheels from the Redline shop on there. Looks wonderful. Like I said, we touched up the tail light in the back. That looks good. And now this is going to look good with in somebody's collection. It's a fantastic car, and I was really happy to do this. If you have any questions, just go ahead and leave your questions in the comments, and I'll be happy to get back to you. If you want to donate some cars to the channel, or if you want to have me restore something for you, just contact me, please. I'd like to introduce you to William. William and his dad do some restorations, and they frequent my channel all the time. William asks his dad to watch Diecast Graveyard and watch Paul. Well, William, this Turbofire, I'm going to send it to you, my friend. Thank you. And I have a Patreon page. Now, these folks donate to my channel, and they help keep my channel going by helping me with donating money so I can continue to buy my supplies and get the other things I need to keep this channel going. I'd like to point out a few folks here. Up in the Grim Reaper section, Mr. William Robinson, Mr. K7, always donating stuff to me. Thank you, sir. Dale Johnson, always keeping me busy with cars to customize for him. In the Mortician area, we've got new corporate sponsor, Air Warrior Coffee. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your generosity. And Mr. Ed Ostrander moves up from the Gravedigger level to the Mortician level. Ed, thank you, and I'm glad I can answer questions for you. Down in the Gravedigger section, we've got Leroy, who joins us here. Thank you so much. Mr. John Sellers, thank you for joining, sir, and we look forward to more stuff from you. And down in the Hearst Driver area, we have Mr. Pintoni. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate your patronage. Mr. Scott Turner, thank you, sir. Michael Oxley, gentlemen, thank you so much and welcome. Mr. Ralph O'Neill Jr. and Mr. Pete Langford, thank you for your generosity, gentlemen. I'll leave a link in the comments section about how you can be a member of the Diecast Graveyard team and a Patreon member. Again, thank you all so much, and God bless you for your generous donations, and thank you so much. This is Paul from Diecast Graveyard. Thank you for joining me here today. We've got really big announcements coming up here for that Sweet 16 giveaway, so just follow the instructions inside that video, and I wish the best of luck to any prize winners. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and cheers.